crosswind sensor. Yeah, and then so then that network of the Moxa has been misbehaving for some reason traffic-wise. It needed to be restarted a bunch, but it's separate. I think it gets the
octopus.
Dumbo.
Octopus.
Dumbo.
Some kind of Dumbo.
Dan, you're off SPL, just so you know. Okay.
You can zoom, Steve.
They must not be. Are you there, scientist ashore? Because I feel like you're exclaiming by now.
Yes,
down.
we are. We are.
Okay, there we go.
We were off for a little bit, and then my talk function was off. Yes, you're right. We would be exclaiming.
Look at that.
So that is you ID'd it correctly.
Do you want to?
It's a Dumbo octopus.
You can zoom.
Can we kill the lasers?
Yeah, I can kill lasers.
Yeah. So Meredith, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I just came back on mute.
Yeah. So do you have anything, or does anybody have anything more to say about these than my oohing and ahhing? So they obviously use those modified fins, I think, by their head to help swim as well as their arms.
This is the first time I've seen this deeper sea species. I'm used to seeing the flapjacks that you find much more shallow, but it's really cool to see this one.
Let me know when I should get ahead, ready.
Yeah. Great job, Jake.
A little dusty.
Yeah, so their name is Grimpotoothes.
Grimpotoothes, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Grimpotoothes. I like Dumbo octopus. That's so much nicer. So it says it's a genus of pelagic umbrella octopuses. The name Dumbo originates from their resemblance to the title character of Disney's film. Yes. And
that's cool.
They have a prominent ear-like fin.
Yep. Set right down in it.
And there are 13 species.
Might have to
Yeah.
go in a little
If
bit.
there's cute
All right.
in the dictionary, you'd see have a picture of this.
Mm-hmm.
Nice flying.
They eat crustaceans, so shrimps, bivalves. I haven't seen any bivalves. Those are like clams, worms, and copepods. And they are a deep species. That was cool. That was a nice interlude.
It was a nice surprise to jump back, be able to suddenly jump back into the video and audio and right to the Dumbo octopus.
So did you guys get kicked off
great.
again?
Yes. Although we also lost video at the same time, so I'm not sure what that was.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
You both sound great today, by the way.
There's another picnic on it. One of these times we'll be far enough ahead just to stop and look at it.
They don't seem to have a body, right? They just seem to be legs.
Right. They keep their organs in those legs.
Oh.
Here's one, maybe.
Another one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Quick zoom.
Quick zoom, yeah. Fly by.
I heard on One Watch they call it zoom and zip.
Zoom and zip.
Oof. Yeah, those are creepy.
Yeah.
Coming in
Even
a
the
little tighter
Time
here.
for
lasers
Halloween.
back on.
Bridge nav. Ed wants to have 200 meters, bearing 060.
All right.
So
Oh,
one of you was saying when we lost V-Link and also the video feed that you were explaining that you could see the ship data online, correct?
Yes, you can see the depths of Herc and Argus as well as real-time notes from the data logger.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I asked what the depth was because I hadn't opened up Grafana yet, so it's open now, so I can check myself.
Oh yeah, sometimes I
The
forget you have that.
Yeah, which
Uh,
is great.
I don't know if you caught that, but I changed course to 060.
060.
Eventually it'll start to go more towards the east.
Roger.
So for folks listening in, it is 1.6 degrees Celsius here at this depth, which is pretty cold. And the oxygen saturation is 21%, which is still pretty good. There's shallower depths, I guess, in the oxygen minimum zone where it's a lot less.
It's credit to Dan.
I was actually kind of surprised to see the oxygen level as high as it is here, because bottom
Yeah.
water is usually pretty low oxygen, although 21% is still fairly low. But yeah, way more than we see up in some shallower depths. And everyone should give a moment of sympathy to all of the folks processing samples on the ship with that water temperature of 1.6, because the bio boxes very, very effectively trap the bottom water that's in them when they've been sampled. And they get the wonderful joy of sticking their hands into what's often, 4-degree water to pull the samples out.
Oh my. So Taylor Ann, you've had to do that, and you too, Meredith, I expect.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What there? The
That might be our
the
protoptilum on the left.
This tall one?
The bright white one, yeah, just to the left of the lasers. The curly one is Radicipes, but the small one is protoptilum.
Yeah. Do we want to stop and try and get it? Is it worth it?
How much time do we have?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Do you want me to hold position? You think that's worth it?
I will be gone by then.
Yeah.
They grab and zip.
Close enough?
Yeah, grab and zip. Do it.
Doing it. You want a quick zoom
But
on
we
it
need
first?
to zoom first, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Zoom
quick
first.
zoom.
Quick zoom, Steve.
Zoomy zoom. You can tilt down now. Sample and it.
And if possible, to just lift. If possible, try to just grip it and lift the whole thing out of the sediment to keep the peduncle.
Is that good on the zoom, or you want a clear shot?
That was good. I know we're on a limited time here, so.
Yeah, we're all right at the moment. 30 seconds in.
So this is sample 63.
Or do you want this chunk of mud?
If you do go for the starboard box, there's something floaty in box A, so be careful.
Look at that.
About the front? Yeah, we can do box A.
So you could put it in, there's kelp in bio box A, you could put it in there, or bio box B is empty.
Yeah, let's do the front one.
Jake,
Oh, we're doing front?
while you're doing a million
Back.
things.
What's the camera?
Yeah, coming back.
While you're doing a million things, you might link up a bit. Buy us some time.
Do you,
Nice grab.
yeah, thank you.
I can put it in with the kelp, yeah.
Yep, that's
Yep,
fine.
it can go in with the kelp.
Did I catch that was 066?
Correct.
You want that peduncle, right?
Okay, off you go. I got that.
You got it?
Yep, it looks like it.
Wait, hold
Thank
on.
you for making that happen.
What's it?
Yeah, just make sure
Awesome.
that thing gets in the.
Pen back down again.
Make sure that.
Or more.
Yeah, there we go.
Excellent. Nice work. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Lightning speed.
Lightning.
What was the name of that, Taylor Ann?
Protoptilum Z-pen.
I guess.
And that's something that, who wanted it?
Gary Williams from Cal Academy.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a species he's doing some work on. So he was on the science chat earlier on the first watch, and we happened to come across the funiculina, which is another species of deep sea sea pen, and I was chatting with him, and he said, well, if you come across Protoptilum, I would like one of those. So we've been on the lookout, and he's the one who asked to carefully get the whole thing if it was possible.
It's so great that the science community participates via science chat, and we're all sort of, since we're here, right? Let's all share in the treasures.
Taylor Ann, I don't know if you
What-
can make a note there, but just the next time we open the box or the next ship, so that peduncle is a bit free floating, and
Yeah,
because we did connect it, I don't want to chop it off.
yeah, I wrote on there that it's floaty.
Awesome.
I'm going to put a note in our dive data recovery port for, I don't know if you guys who were processing the sample see it, but to please keep that sample intact. If you want to take a subsample for some genetic works, just take some polyps off, but Gary would like to use it for taxonomic ID, and he'll need the whole specimen relatively in one piece.
Okay, sounds great. I'll write that down too to make sure everyone notices that.
Seems like the current really picked up.
Great work sampling on the
And-
fly, by the way. That's about the exact time window we have. I don't think we would have too much more.
Oh, it's sample 66. And which bio box is it in, or do I need to note that in the
Yeah, so
data
that was
recovery?
forward biobox A, and that was sample number 66.
Yeah, thanks.
What would build those mounds that we're seeing?
Those are, we would call them bioherms, and there are several species of different worms, and actually like the heart urchins and things that are actually usually buried in the sediment. And so that's just where one of these animals that lives in the sediment is just building up a mound. Sometimes it means there's something good to eat under there.
I will do everything I can to prevent that from happening.
I just pulled up a different fish guide than the one I was looking at. I also have an electronic copy of the Survey Fishes Guide, and it has a bunch of different grenadier species in it.
There's another sea pen sort of in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Dark.
So a good sign that we're seeing, well, it's a nice sign that we're seeing some more of them now in this portion. There was a long period there where we just weren't seeing any. So we're probably getting into an area that has a little better flow for them. Do we have time for a quick zoom on this one?
Yes.
What's the main difference
Steve, you can zoom.
between Funiculina and Protoptilum? Since they look
So
so much alike.
Funiculina will have all the polyps are on one side, and they don't form any kind of rows. They just come individually off the stalk, and the stalk itself, what we call the rachis, that central axis, is much thinner. This one looks a little more robust. It's this white in color, and I'm seeing denser polyps than I would expect on Funiculina. Really, the big thing is that it just looks so much more robust. Kind of round. It'll have polyps that go all the way around. You can see that kind of halo cloud of them.
Want a tighter zoom?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, you can go tighter.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, there definitely is fuzz all around it.
Mm-hmm. So all polyps.
And then in Funiculina, you just see one side of it would be fuzzy. Because
yeah, and the polyps are a lot kind of thinner. They're not this really dense spacing you see here.
What is that dangling off of it? Is that just something that got caught in there?
Yeah, I think that's just some organic matter that's caught there. It looks actually like a collapsed, possibly appendicularia house. It's just kind of tangled there.
Pushed. Can't even land. Okay.
We in some current? Thank you for the zoom.
Full zoom.
So Jake is the Herc pilot today. Do you often switch off, or is this just to keep things fresh?
Dan lets me jump in the seat every now and then, especially on flatter bottom terrain.
This,
Yeah, it's definitely good practice, good training. It's been a lot of
yeah.
fun.
So you look forward to these dives, like, yes,
Yeah, I look
somebody
forward
wants
to
to
the
go.
dull
Somebody signed up
bottoms.
for a flat dive. Yeah.
No, it's just it's an added, I guess, a added bonus, secondary. I do enjoy the.
It's all about
photos.
the stick time. It's
Yeah.
like a aircraft pilot or driving a car. You need a certain amount of hours to get comfortable with it.
Right. So where did you train, Dan? How did you get your experience?
Same way Jake is. I bugged the heck out of guys that have been doing it for a while.
So before you worked for OET, or did you, who are the big employers for this?
I've been contracting for a while now, so I've worked I've worked with Sebastian, and I've worked with Ropos, and I've worked with a couple of the German research outfits, Guillaumar, Ephemer, been on a French boat.
And do they also do sort of similar research like this, just, you know, exploration, or is it for more commercial purpose?
They
I'm just curious.
no, so it's all over the place. ROV Sebastian does a lot of kind of cutting edge technology and exploration. Robust does the whole gambit from some fringe science, as we call it, to some quasi-commercial work with their vehicle. And that machine travels all over the planet. We've been to New Zealand, Fiji, both coasts. Last year they were in India, I think. They've been in China.
I think Liz Clark, who was on one of the watches today, I think she had the 4 to 8. She's used the Ropos for her work.
Yeah, it's been around since the 90s. The original vehicle was built in, actually built in the 80s. It's like same age as Ventana.
I didn't know that. I thought it was newer.
Yeah, I've been out with Embari too. Been out with Ventana and was out with Tiburon. I haven't been out with Doc Rickett, so.
Bridge now?
Yeah, I think Liz's group did, as part of their Cobb Seamount, I think they were using the AUV and the Ropos.
Yeah, that was that during the first deep sea coral initiative on the West Coast? I'm trying to recall.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been out with Jason though. It's still on my bucket list. But I'm not with the in crowd in Rhode Island though. Trying to, but it's been a couple opportunities. Just the timing has never been quite right.
Have you had any desire to do Alvin and submersibles?
I was on board Atlantis when Alvin was on there, but it was during a maintenance period. And I sat in that titanium sphere for about 15 minutes, and I couldn't imagine sitting in there for hours and hours.
I could.
Keep your distance from the creepy crawlers on the bottom.
But I would jump at the opportunity to actually go down and see what it's like.
Yeah, same. Let's do it.
I've checked out the Shinkai 6500, the Japanese
Zoom see.
man sub, and also I forget the name of the French one. That Ephemer's, isn't that Victor?
Ephemer, yeah.
It's massive. It's like huge.
So folks who are maybe watching, this is, I believe this is the sea whip radicipes? Did
Yes,
I
this
pronounce
is
that correct?
radicipes. Yep.
Radicipes, yes.
This is a coral that is in the family of the Chrysogorgidae. So it's the same family that has Iridogorgia and Chrysogorgia, which you'll see growing on hard bottom habitat. But this one species, and I believe this is probably Radicipes stonii, grows and is one of the few that will grow in soft bottom habitats. They form this single spiral with these little bell-like polyps.
Is Metallogorgia also in that family?
Yes, Metallogorgia is also in the Chrysogorgia family.
I was just thinking
Zoom
it
closer
looks,
if you want
looks
to.
similar. Got the same polyp.
Yep, all of them will often grow in spirals and have these bell-like polyps.
Yeah. Very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I think the name is also quite appropriate.
All right, get back ahead. So miss anything else?
Okay. That's great.
We're going
Zip
070 now.
070. Roger.
Yeah, it seems like we're entering in a slightly different type of, I guess you'd call it ecotone, or different, because we're not seeing as many of the, what were they called, the long snake, those hydroids,
Mm-hmm.
in the family Candelabridae. Those are the long, skinny, white, sort of snake-like organisms on the seafloor. We're not seeing as many. You still see them, but not as many as before.
Fewer sea pigs as well. Although I wonder if it's just for those, if it's the steeper slope, if they have slightly more trouble hanging on.
Yeah.
A few more protoptilum here.
Yeah, those seem to have that maybe brittle stars on them.
Yeah, they can get brittle stars or anemones up on them.
How many of you are staying on the ship? Because I heard that some of you are taking off and another crew is coming in. So how many of you are staying
I will
on
be
this
on board.
watch?
I know we're short-staffed.
Yeah, what's that?
There's a big science crew coming on board.
Yeah, I'll be staying as well. Yeah, we're going down from 24-hour ops to less, so we'll only have 2 ROV shifts. So I think they prioritized having the scientists on board with what the processing in the lab that they needed. So they normally we would be able to accommodate for them, but with reduced berthing for COVID concerns, we've
Zoom, Steve.
they opted to have less ROV, less operations team. And
This is
more
Cophobelemnon.
See what that is.
And Can you tell us more about the?
Yeah, so this is, it's another deep sea sea pen. This is a deep sea specialist. This one, you'll notice all the polyps are all on one side and they're quite large. That's the really distinctive feature of this particular species. It is another one where you have all the polyps kind of concentrated to one side.
Could you say that name again?
Cophobelemnon,
Cophobelemnon.
and I'll spell it for our data logger.
Oh, thank you for the world. For me too.
Yeah.
Jake, that's a full zoom, just to give you a reference.
Okay.
About distance and stuff.
They just threw a bunch of consonants at this, didn't they?
Yeah. And to also, it seems to be a Greek name because it begins with a K instead of Latin. Oh, and
This
there's
is really, really neat to see.
Is this unusual?
It's a sea pen it's such a deep sea specialist that you really have to be operating at these depths to see it. It's not one that has like a sister taxa that's more shallow, like Umbellula.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen museum specimens, but I have seen actually even very few ROV photos of them.
Cool.
Nice.
All right. Zoom out ahead again.
Cophobelemnon. So the next time I see one, I will have forgotten that name. It sounds like with the infrequency. That's the first time I've ever seen one.
Unless there's one right over here.
Yeah.
Do they have a common name, Meredith, that might be easier to remember?
That is one that one does not have a common name just because it's one of these that you'll just, unless you're operating at these depths, you'll never see it. So it's not one that they've given a common name to.
So we have an opportunity here. We can come up with one. So how can we remember a common name for it? What does it look like to you?
To me, it looks kind of like a shaggy snow-covered pine, but.
Okay.
It looks like a shaggy dog.
Bob Ross sea pen. Happy little tree.
I could go with the shaggy dog pen.
Shaggy dog, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a shaggy dog sponge, so there's got to be a coral counterpart. Exactly.
Equal opportunity here. But just us doing this sort of fun exercise, it's going to be easier for me to remember Cophobelemnon, the shaggy dog sea pen.
Come here, Kofi. Just picture a dog's name that.
Kofi.
Yeah.
Sea pens are actually the optical.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, sea pens are actually the octocorals that have the depth record for the deepest coral.
Do they?
How deep?
There's a species of Umbellula that's found on the Porcupine abyssal plain at 6,000 meters.
Wow.
I'm liking these purple sea stars too.
Oh, there's one of those heart urchins.
Mm-hmm.
Quick zoom, Steve.
And so we have a heart urchin,
Yeah.
a sea cucumber, and a sea star, and they are all echinoderms, and they have these tube feet, and you can actually see the tube feet really well on the heart urchin there.
Yeah. Part of what they call the water vascular system.
Oh yeah.
So instead of having a vascular system like a mammal would have with blood, they actually bring in seawater that they pump through their tube feet.
And see, the sea cucumber is going to show us its tube feet. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling over.
Right there.
What's that white thing in the foreground or right in front of the sea pen? Or sea pig? Remember?
Is that a anemone?
It's an
The little.
or a hydroid.
Yeah, can't really tell.
Photobomb.
Oh, here comes the grenadier.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Checking it out. This is a nice shot, close up.
Yeah.
So we're gonna come wide and zoom back ahead.
A lot of the organisms down here have sort of a way of moving that is very snake-like, sinusoidal, I guess. The fishes, they have that shape.
Wonder if that's, conserving energy.
Yeah.
How little they have down here.
I think this got discussed a couple nights ago, and that, yeah, the conclusion was it was for like an energy conservation. The other adaptation you'll see in all of these deep sea fish is that they don't have a gas-filled swim bladder the way shallower species like the rockfish do. They all use different lipids and oils for their buoyancy control.
Swimming picnic on it, or little creep. Unless that's.
Is that a crinoid?
Crinoid?
What?
Or is it a picnic on it? I can't tell. Yeah, but it seems.
Yeah, it doesn't really have the
like,
feathery.
Arm seems
Yeah.
really fluid though.
I don't think it's a picniconid.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a crinoid.
Zoom, Steve. If you want.
It's an asteroid of some kind.
It is a crinoid.
Yeah.
Or is it a
Oh yeah.
Brisingid?
Could be a brisingid.
The Brisingid,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
And
Brisingid star stuck. 2 grenadier right behind you in your port cam. Just like slithering around.
Just hanging out.
Following
Yeah.
along, seeing what you're going to stir up.
Yeah.
So a Brisingid would also, the way that it was moving was because of the water vascular system that it has?
Yeah, I mean, all of them use, I mean, it will be able to just move its arms, but they don't have a typical vascular system. They just bring in seawater to run their tube feeds. That's actually, if you look at sea stars, they'll have that white dot on the top surface. It's called a madreporite. And that's
yeah.
what actually is open to the seawater. Unfortunately, in shallow water environments, like up here in Puget Sound in the Salish Sea or along the coast, that's what makes them prone to things like the sea star wasting disease. They're just bringing in ambient seawater
With the virus, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how often a grenadier gets something to eat. It's like once every 2 years, or
Oh, probably a little more
That,
frequently than that. I think they use those barbels to pull small invertebrates out of the mud.
oh yeah, never seen one feeding. Never. I've seen a lot of grenadiers.
Camera shy.
and there is a fishery for them, right? Was it on this watch that we talked about they're sold as grenadier, not as rat tail? It wouldn't sell. So I look at them and think, I've not seen enough for there to be a fishery.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of them, and they're really deep, so it seems like a lot of work to
Yeah.
get a couple skinny fish.
Winds are
That
gusting
have
now
Never eat.
to 25 knots.
Doesn't sound very yummy.
Aren't they one of the fish species at the fishery? They basically get processed into like fish cake or fish meal.
Yeah, like pollock. They probably get mixed in with the
like-
pollock.
Yeah,
Whatever
they
bycatch.
basically become fish sticks.
Trash fish, as they were bycatch at one point.
So maybe they're just more abundant in different latitudes where there is a fishery.
Are they kind of strictly bottom feeders, or are they in the water column at all?
Yeah, I'm trying to read up on that.
They are in the gadiforms. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I've got my survey fishes guide open to the grenadiers right now, since that's what we're seeing.
So it says they may be solitary or they may form large schools, as with the round-nosed grenadiers.
Sounds like a motorcycle gang.
Yeah, so
Round-nosed grenadier.
yeah.
I think in the southern oceans there is where there's a big fishery for them, like off of the South Island of New Zealand, and that may be where there's a species that forms bigger schools.
Yeah, they said that 2 genera are known to prefer the midwater. So there you go.
Rich enough. one more step, 200 meters, 070. Thank you.
Oh,
So these big purple sea stars we've been seeing intermittently, and all the silence here I've been digging through ID guides, are pterasters. There's probably several different species of them, but they're all genus pteraster.
as in TER and then aster, like star?
PTER, because
Oh.
Latin
I
names
can hear
always
it,
like
Dan.
to be complicated.
Yeah.
And we're seeing more of those Cophobelemnon.
Yeah. The shaggy dog sea pen.
The shaggy dog sea pen. Wondering if we should go ahead and just run a transect while we're running up this mud wall.
Yeah, some trash.
Yeah, good idea.
Is that a can?
Looks like it.
Since we've had a slight change in species composition from down below where they ran the last one.
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever you guys are ready.
Yep. Ready over here. So let's mark this and let me do a, looks about right. Yep. What number is this, Taylor?
Transect 4. I think. Wait, let me double check that.
Looks like it.
It is.
Yeah.
T3D
Okay.
is
Yeah.
It is. We have 4 as well.
Okay, cool.
All right. 070.
Oh, we just passed a really cool coral just on the bottom. I think that was Bathyalcyon robustum.
Did you?
Oh, can you put that in the notes under the
Yes.
interesting observations? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's right below you there. Yep.
You wanna?
There's enough current there you can slip back. And we haven't started yet, have we?
Yeah, but we can. Do you want to stop, or do you want to?
We can stop and just restart it.
Okay, yeah, no worries. We're
Yeah.
approximately the same position.
Since
Right,
we're just at the beginning anyways. Yeah, that's right.
I just happened to, as I was taking the note, look over and went, oh, 2 giant polyps, Bathyalcyon.
yeah, where was it in relation to where we are right now?
Back and to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's what happens when you
Start a transect.
Yeah. That's actually it's a running joke between Tom Leidig and I that like we
There
always
it
see
is.
the coolest
Yeah.
stuff while we're on transect. Yep, right there at the bottom of the screen.
So guys,
So this is
I just want to let you know, guys, the Cinedeck recorders are freezing up on me and stopping records. So Al's on his way up, but I don't know if that's going to affect the transect because the video files are going to have gaps if this continues.
oh, okay.
Okay.
In that
Yeah.
case, we might want to hold off a transect until
Yeah,
that is sorted out.
Yeah.
Okay. They're recorded on shore, but we don't want to rely on that. It's a lower
Yeah.
resolution.
So
Essentially
yeah,
what?
this is go ahead.
I know.
Yeah, this is an octocoral species that's essentially 2 or 3 giant polyps called bathyalcyon.
Bathyalcyon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta turn around. Yeah.
And I think actually we're within the published depth range for them. But yeah, you only find them out in soft sediment like this and very, very deep. They're another one of these really deep sea specialist corals.
Were you expecting to see a bathyalcyon, Meredith?
I wasn't. I've always hoped to see one because they're one of I work with the deep sea.
That was a ghostly grenadier that we
Oh.
just passed
Oh.
with the white head, and we're sort of in the depth range. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, working with the deep sea coral program, we maintain a list of West Coast species, and so they're one of the species that I always see on the West Coast list. But there's very few images of them. I think there's 1 or 2 from Mbari, and they're one that there's very few museum specimens, so it's not one I've encountered. But I've seen a few photos and knew what it looks like, and so it's great to be able to see it working at these depths. And again, it's another one we just don't encounter that much because it is so deep generally. So great to get some imagery here.
What's going on here?
Sorry, we just had a tether management.
Okay.
The winch operator forgot he was coming in full stick and yanked the vehicle off the seabed.
Oh, I'm gonna crash. Yep.
Now we found
I
seabed again.
I was just, it was so quiet and I thought, am I still on the same dive or?
Yeah, we were off a scale for a moment too, and then talking about some stuff and forgot.
Basically, I was talking too much and not paying attention to what I'm supposed to be doing.
I think we went quiet because we were like, well, we don't want to interrupt if something is wrong.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, what is the etiquette here?
There we go. There's seafloor again. Got a glimpse of it.
Still plowing a bit. There,
Yeah,
maybe.
gotta come up a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
So,
Oh yeah, see, look, perfect shot. Following him the whole time.
Yeah, that was the plan.
try to
Surprise him. Okay.
I think this is another ghostly, yeah, ghostly grenadier with the white
Another unbelievable.
front part of the body.
Yeah, another Umbelula there too.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Sea pig. And those dark blobs, we just passed one on the right. Is that a jelly? Ooh,
I've
Is
seen
this?
some.
What is this?
Oh,
what is this?
that?
Yes.
Zoom in on that.
This cloud's catching up
Oh,
with
maybe.
us, but we gotta know what that is. I mean, I've never seen that.
My dust cloud's catching up with me.
It looks like it has antlers. Whatever it is.
Like a giant copepod with antlers.
I have so much dust on the vehicle right now.
It might
It's
clear
just
once
coming
you
off.
land. Yeah, there you go.
Got into the sticky mud.
See if we can get that. Can we?
Zoom, Steve.
Is it a type of brittle star?
What? Ah, no,
That's
a,
the
That
disc.
looks like a spider.
it does
Oh
look like
my.
a copepod or some kind of,
But don't those look like antlers?
yeah, what?
It's a crustacean of some kind.
Right.
Oh my. Okay. We're all going to be looking at our guides.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's a predator, given the wavy little tentacles there.
Wow. Easy looking.